Hey guys, what's going on? Team Crit here, at it again with another 1.5 deck profile. Today we are covering the third of the big three. These are the three big decks that I think will be the top three contenders in this format. I could be wrong, but after playtesting, this is what I have found out. Now today we are looking at Imperial Dramon Dragon Mode Blue. This deck is absolutely insane. It's got it all. It's got restanding, it's got jamming, it hits for a lot. What can I say? Let's just get straight into this profile. Starting off with the babies, we have 4 Demi Vmon and 1 Upamon, so we have another 4-1 split there. Demi Vmon, this is a card that says when attacking once per turn, if your Digimon has jamming, you get to draw a card. That's simple, very easy. And then Upamon from last set, most people remember this from the infamous Blue Omnimon deck. Once per turn, if your opponent has a Digimon without any Digivolution sources, so if they've just hard played them on, then you get to draw a card. Now, this card is good, and this card defined the format of how good it made blue with all the draw power that they constantly had through it. This card is better because this card requires set from the opponent, and this doesn't. It's all under your control, so this is a lot better. This is the way forward. This is the new way to play blue, at least with Imperial Dramon. So, moving on from the babies, we are moving on to the option cards. The option cards we run in this deck is quite simple. We run 4 Hammer Spark. This card is insane. Might be the best option card that they've ever made. Main effect, gain 1 memory. That's it. And that's all it needs to be. 0 cost, just gain a memory. And then security effect, gain 2 memory. So this card can pass over the turn back to you and let you swing at your opponent again. And then its main effect can just let you, if your opponent tries to pass 2 to be cheeky, then you can play and go to 3 and then go into your Imperial Dramon. Or if you have 2 in hand, your opponent passes 1 thinking you can't do much, so they've not done much. You can just play 2 of them and then gain full control over the game from that point. This will, from what I've seen, will always be relevant in a blue deck. This is insane, so we are playing 4 of it. Going on from there, we have the Tamers. We are running 3 copies of Davis Motomiya. Hope I didn't butcher that surname there. So what this does is, it has the tame effective if we're less than 3 at the start of the turn, we go to 3 memory. It's always good. Now on play, this card reveals the top 3 cards of deck. Then we can add 1 blue Digimon we see there, and 1 green, so we can add up to 2 cards of it. Now, it is only the top 3, so it's not as good as some of the other searching cards we've seen so far, but this is still a really good card for a tamer, plus it has the security effect all tamers have. If you reveal it, you can activate it and then gain its effect. You just run this just to circle through the deck a bit faster, find the Imperial Dramons or the Paladramon or the Stingmon level up version, the green one. You just run it for all them. It's pretty good, so that's why we're running this. So that's all the tamers. Moving on to the babies here. We are running 4 copies of Vmon. Now we are running 4 copies of this because I see some people run 3 of this and then they run 4 of this. I'm running 4 of this because I see this deck more as a circulation around Imperial Dramon rather than a Rookie Rush deck that has Imperial Dramon. Don't get me wrong, that is a separate deck, I think, and that is a very strong deck. But I prefer to play this in the way that you stack up the Imperial Dramon to have a lot of effects. What this says is, once per turn, during your turn, when this Digimon, so the Digimon on top of this, becomes unsuspended, so becomes active again, you get to draw a card. Now, you'll see later on why that is always going to trigger when you hit 6. That is absolutely great. Such a good card. So we are running 4 of it. Move them up there out the way. Then we're running 3 of the other Vmon. As I say, some people run 4 of this and 3 of this, but I believe that's a different build of the deck. This card is a good card because it's a level 3 cost, level 3, but it has jamming. So this card can swing in. Your opponent could reveal an Omnimon, it doesn't matter. This is not dying anytime soon. Going off that, we run 4 copies of a Lekmon from last set. We are running 4 of this because it's a play for 2 and it's a 3k. It's that simple. I just like a Lekmon is why I'm running 4 of this. And then we are running 3 copies of Garou. You could mix and match these any way you wish. I'm running 4 because I prefer the Elecmon to the Garurumon, so then we're running 3 copies of Garurumon. It shouldn't come up, it doesn't really matter, but that's why we're running them. They're all the babies. Moving on, we have our level 4s now. Started off, as most decks do, 4 blockers. Not going to explain that more than they are the blockers. Grizzlymon, if anyone's wondering. Then we're running 4 copies of Gorillamon. We're running 4 copies of this because it's a play for 1 to Digivolve level 4. It's that simple. Really good cards because 6k. Not much more to say there. Now here's where it starts to get interesting. We're running 2 copies of Frigimon. We're running 2 because it's got jamming. So like what we said about the Vmon, if this card swings like the Vmon, it can reveal an Omnimon, it would not die. And also the Imperial Ultramon that we play says all of your jamming Digimon stand, not just himself. So this would stand and can take another security off the opponent. We're running 2 and not 4 because for the other 2 cop slots we are running 2 X Vmon. We're running this because it lets us Digivolve, and then this says when you Digivolve you can unsuspend one of your level 4. So if we swing with the fridge, get rid of security, it doesn't die because it's not an option card. We could then evolve something else into the XVmon and restand the fridge, passing the turn to the opponent, and the opponent can no longer just attack the Frigimon to get rid of it. It's a constant reoccurring threat then. They have to properly take it seriously, and they most likely would not be expecting it if they saw the fridge. They're mostly expecting some form of Rookie Rush. Moving on, we've got the level 5s now. So for that we run 4 copies of Paladramon. This card is really good because it is evolves onto a green or a blue for free, 7k, but has jamming again. That's what I mean, this deck is just full of jamming, so this can swing and not care. Also what this has is an inherent skill that says when attacking once per turn, if the Digimon on top of it is called Imperial Ultramon, then you can unsuspend it. Now there is a combo that I will show you at the end. It's not an exciting combo, it's not like game breaking, but it is the combo of this deck where this Digimon can swing 3 times in 1 turn by itself. That is so good. So we are running 4 of this and then 4 copies of the other one, Dino Beamon. This is like Paladramon except it also has piercing, so it evolves for free on a green or blue, has piercing and jamming, but it doesn't have an inherent effect. That's why this is slightly better in my opinion, but this is still good enough to run 4 of. And they're the only level 5s we're running, because we want to maximise really hitting a green Digimon with a blue in level 5 area. Now, moving on, we have our level 6 Digimon. We have our 4 copies of Imperial Ultramon. This is the main point of the deck. This is why everyone's playing it. This is what's so exciting. This card says it evolves for 5, but if you're evolving onto a Paladramon or a Dino Beamon, then the evolution cost of this card is reduced by 2, so it evolves for 3. It has jamming, but when you play this card, it says you can unsuspend all of your Digimon with jamming. That is so good. That is why this deck is a contender, because you can push aggro and then just bring them all back and push again. This card can create a 1-turn OTK by itself. It's insane to see that in Digimon, so yeah, this card is definitely a 4 of. Now to match that, I am running 1 copy of the Imperial Ultramon Paladramon Dragon mode, green. Now, although they both have the same name, this is a completely different card. What this one has is the same effect of it evolves for 5 on green or blue, and you can reduce it by 2 if you evolve onto the Paladramon or the Dino Beamon. This card has piercing, so when it attacks a Digimon that's not active, that's suspended, and it kills it, then you can perform any normal security checks. Now, it is important to note you can't kill someone through piercing. If they've got no security left and you attack with piercing, they will not die. You've got to be able to land that direct hit. But still, piercing's really good. But once per turn, when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon, so you swing as suspended, you win the battle, so you delete it and it survives, you can unsuspend this Digimon and it can go again. That's good for boards where your opponent swung out, left you on like no security, they feel like they've won it, and you just drop this and just start swinging all day at everything, just piercing as you go. Now, my little tech choice I do with this deck is I run 2 Bacho Stingmon. Now I run this because you might remember we run 4 copies of Dino Beamon, the level 5 that can evolve onto a blue but is green, so the Bacho Stingmon can evolve on top of the Dino Beamon. What this does, and we went through it in the green profile, if you haven't seen it, go and check it out, it's on the channel, is it has piercing. When it attacks, if your opponent's Digimon is 12k or more, then this Digimon gains 7k, so it goes to 16,000, and it also gains security attack +2, so it'll swing for 3 damage. That is why we run this, because if your opponent's trying to play like a Omnimon Alter S deck, then you can just counteract it with this and go back to trying to win the game with this afterwards. It's a good little card just to have backing up. Also, you can swing with this and something, remove like 2 security, and then you still have like your jamming Digimon on board to try and win the game with. Now, usually at the end of level 6, that's where we end the profile. But in this deck, we have 2 more cards. We are running 2 copies of Omnimon. Now, this is the original Omnimon, the Omnimon that is from the first set. These cards I had to dig out from my Omnimon Blue deck because I put it away after when this set came out. This is a ridiculously good card. I will explain it, but I'm sure I won't have to for most people. 15,000. It costs 6 to evolve onto a blue or red level 6 Digimon. But when you evolve this, when you digivolve this, you can target one card your opponent controls, delete it, just straight up delete it, and then any Digimon that has the same name as that Digimon gets deleted. Now that would hit this deck because they all share the same name, but luckily enough we're the ones using it. Now when this card swings as well, you can return a level 6 to your hand, and then it can restand and swing again. It just goes with the whole putting pressure on theme. It works very nice, and also with that you get to add an Imperial Ultramon back to hand, which is always nice because you could swing, add that Imperial Ultramon back, and then you might just evolve into it and restand everything and swing again. So that is the Imperial Ultramon list I'm running. I'm most happy, I think, with the Shangri-La list, but this is the second list I'm most happy with. This is, I think this is a very solid list. This is the list I'll probably be running for the foreseeable future with this deck. If anyone has any improvements or any cards they change, just leave a comment and tell me and we can discuss it. I'll try and answer comments. Going off that, if you liked the video, click like, click subscribe, and I'll see you next time, guys. Wait there, guys, it's not over yet. As promised, I'm going to show you the combo that we're on about. Now this is quite a simple combo, it's nothing out there. So as you can see here, what we've done is, in this scenario, we've built up a stack just on the side here in the resting area. Didn't want to risk him getting destroyed, quite smart. We've got a Demi-V, a V, a Gorilla, and a Paladramon on top. Nothing too special, it seems. So we're going to draw 1 card for turn. Oh, we drew the Imperial, isn't that lucky? So we will bring the Paladramon out. Now the first thing you're going to do is attack with the Paladramon, then activate the Demi-V, and we will draw a random card. This does not matter. The Paladramon's going to attack with jamming, so whatever they do doesn't really matter, it's going to live. Now we are going to spend 3 mana, because in this scenario we have 3 mana, or if you want, we can just say the scenario we've got a Tamer out. It doesn't really matter. For this really to work, you need the 3 mana. That's why we run the Hammer Sparks and the Davis. So spend 3 mana, evolve this into the Imperial Ultramon. His ability activates, which restands him. The Vmon activates and draws another card. Now the Imperial Ultramon will attack for a 2nd damage. The Paladramon's going to activate. Now because this is Imperial Ultramon, we can reactivate this, and this is also swinging for jamming. Then we can swing for a 3rd final time with jamming. So 3 swings, all have jamming. That's a nice little combo. It's nothing too out there, it's nothing too game breaking, but it's just the best combo the deck has right now, and it's just a great way to close out games. Hope you enjoyed it all, guys.